2018, another true Indian Action News Network report. Since 1988, we have been African-Americans. So-called civil rights leader Jesse Jackson coined it during his historic presidential campaign that same year. Although we rejected that term many times as it was fed to us in the past, for some reason in 1988, it stuck. I was born before then, but I'm definitely affected by the term that we've all accepted, but never questioned. But what if I told you that we are aboriginal to this continent, the Americas? We are indigenous, autochthonous, more than just native. America is our ancestral homeland. We joke about being crispy jet black, red bone, and high yellow. But what if I told you that it's not because some great-great-grandmammy of yours has been raped by some white guy, massive, with their recessive genes that could be washed out within a generation or so. But it's more of a complex mixing of different tribes and mixing with nomadic Mongols in the past who have traveled here. What if I told you that we are actually Australoids, having closer DNA ties to the Aboriginals of Australia and the Pacific Islands, places like Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Melanesia, Fiji, and other places in the islands of the Pacific, that our DNA are more closely related to them than it is to West Africa, where we are told that we come from. What if I told you instead of millions of slaves, only a couple 100,000 were actually imported from West Africa? What if I told you that the Africans themselves sold their own people into slavery, and your people, the Indian, did? And not only didn't they sell their own people into slavery, we also freed and protected them, our African cousins. What if I told you that the light-skinned East Coast Indians are only half-breeds and white $5 Dawes Indians? The half-breeds are what we would call amalgamated, meaning mixed, mulatto, and assimilated. And once you get that white blood into you, you're also racist. What if those Asian-looking Indians on the western coast and in the Great Plains are really abandoned Spanish, Chinese slaves from their voyages and conquering of the Philippines and parts of Indochina? They are Chinos, not Indios, and their whole culture is a psyop trick just to keep you thinking that you're African American and that they are the Aboriginal people of this continent, Turtle Island. What if we are the Olmecs, whose calling cards that they left behind with giant Negro heads in the middle of Indochina land, Mexico, exposing the lies, letting them know who the real people who were here and built these pyramids were? Maybe we are the Mayans who were the masters of time. We had also been the Inca. They also depicted themselves as Negroes. Books, newspapers, advertisement, pre-Civil War made no doubt who was here when the white man arrived. Maybe they all was lying. Maybe the Italian explorer Giovanni de Verrazano was lying. He described the Indians in both New York and North Carolina as black, Negro, with almost no difference than the Ethiopians, and with curly hair. But if I told you could find your people, your tribe, your ancestry, your native language, your history, your whole family, your nation, your food, your ancient burial grounds, your great works, your pyramids, your hieroglyphics, your land. This is your property and your pride, your past, and your future. What if I told you that it was right here all right here in America, this place that we're told that we're not from. All of this because we are the Indians, the redskin, the copper colored. What if I told you that Pocahontas was a little black girl, just like the daughters that you have today? They brainwashed us. They took away our culture, and they turned us into a lost people. With no history, no pride, no nothing. Like Dr. King said, and even Dr. King knew, the Negro are exiles in their own homeland. How could we be exiled in our own homeland if we're from Africa? He didn't say we're exiled from. He said we're exiles in our own homeland. Even Brother Malcolm said it. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. The rock landed on us. Those comments implies autonomy. We are as old as the American continent herself, and America is our motherland. We didn't come from Africa. We have African blood in us. Moors came here, and when I mean Moors, I don't mean from Morocco or even just North African. Moors was a term used for any Aboriginal or black-skinned tribal people who were seafaring, and were seafaring before the Europeans. They traded with us, they came here, and they traded us to the Europeans, who they brought here and allowed them to do what they did to us. We do have African blood in us, but it's not a majority of our blood, and it's not our culture. It was forced upon us. It doesn't mean we shouldn't love our African brothers and sisters, our African cousins, or have love and sympathy for what goes on with them and their people. They traded in their own people for guns and liquor. And the instability of them losing probably around 1 million of their own people off the continent, able-bodied, mostly men, for weapons and for alcohol and other nefarious things, has continued a perpetual problem for that continent that still exists today. And just like that has affected them, us being enslaved and losing our own culture has affected us to this day. So once African Americans, so-called African Americans, so-called black Americans, so-called black people in America, once they realize that they are the Choctaw, the Cherokee, the Seminole, the Cree, the Muskogee, the Shawnee, the Iroquois, Powhatans. Once we find out that we are the Algonquins, that we are all of these Indian tribes, that these names are ours, and that we came from a beautiful civilization that have built pyramids such as Monk's Mound, which is only half the size of what it was. We're the city of East St. Louis, Missouri, or Illinois, I think it is. East St. Louis, Illinois. It was built over one of our great cities. Once we find out and accept that fact, maybe we'll stop being the lost people that we are today. My brothers and sisters, it's time for us to take back our land, take back our pride, and become the great people that we were and still am to this day. Thank you. And stay tuned for more of these types of reports from Action News Network.